this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. We are here for another one of our mass making sessions. Oh my gosh, we are week 116, would you believe? It's just flying by. So if you watch my channel, you'll know that what we're doing is reruns. So we're kind of week number 116, rerunning week number 16, which, you know, touch wood, everyone's kind of finding a positive experience. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely finding it helpful because it's good to revisit, because we always, you know, tend to forget, I think, what we've done in the past and things. So yeah, it's been good so far for me anyway. And you know, lots of you ladies have said that it's been quite handy for you too. And obviously there were people who didn't see them. So if you are joining in this week, what we are doing, we're making some tag bases. So again, I've clearly overestimated how much I think I'm going to get done in this session. I mean, can you see the size of my pile? I have got tons and tons of paper here. No way am I going to get through all this. But what you're going to need is something neutral to back your tags on. Now, I like a very sturdy tag. Obviously, it's completely up to you. If you're not so fussed, you could use paper, thickness or anything. I like my tags very sturdy. So this is 230, I think, GSM. So this is kind of thinner, or, you know, the thinnest for my backing. Yeah, the thinnest for my backing. I've then got kind of proper cardstock, you know, which I've had for like years in my stash. And again, you can mix up the colours. So obviously this is brown, but so long as it's a neutral colour and it's plain, I think anything will go. So yeah, that's fine. And the other thing that I've brought along to back some of them is some 12 by 12 papers, which if I can get them, 12 by 12s, which again are plainish or neutral on the back, because these are papers, you know, that I'm not necessarily fussed about the other side. So, you know, all of these I'm kind of thinking, I'm not sure that I would necessarily use these sides. So I can back my tags with these, you know, which are then nice neutral backgrounds. Again, I've got this green stripe, actually lovely for the fronts or the backs of tags. I would then try and match my front up, i.e. using something with green in it. If I'm using something with a strict sort of colour. The same as, you know, if I'm using this, which is brown, I would try and do something brownish. You know, I wouldn't kind of veer off doing something really randomly different unless I did that by mistake, which is, of course, a possibility. So that's what you're going to need, is some backing material of some sort. So either cardstock or, you know, paper, thickish, I would recommend. And then you're going to need a whole bunch of things to cover, you know, to make your tags. So I have brought along a whole bunch of different papers here. I've got different papers because obviously I make the printables. I'm, you know, got a lot of spare papers from when I'm printing and trying to get my prints right. So I've brought along a lot of those. Then I've also got a bunch of the papers that we have made, you know, using like inks and things like that. So I've also got quite a few of those. And I've also got a bunch of book pages, because again, the book page tags, then they're going to be really, really flexible, because they're going to match with, you know, whatever you want to do on your tag. You're going to get away with it with a book page. So I've just got a variety of book pages, and I thought I had some sheet music somewhere to make some sheet music tags, but I might have overlooked that. So yep, so let's get started by using some of our little scraps. So I'm just going to put in the pieces that are sort of strictly scraps. Oh, don't tell me that's all I've got. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. But I've got some others that are sort of random leftovers from other things that I have been making. So I'm going to just put in some of those. And again, these are on copy paper. So obviously the copy paper for the front backed onto something thicker. And, you know, that's what I find kind of, you know, works best. And then I've got this one, which again, I'd made this obviously on the back of some scrapbook paper that was plain on the back. So I'm going to obviously incorporate that as well. So if I just bring in, first of all, oh, and then you're also going to need probably, sorry, a glue spreader. Oh gosh, please excuse my card, which has really seen better days. Some glue and some scissors. Now, I don't measure, you know, I'm just going to judge by eye my tags. So I'm going to put it down this way. Now, this is a neutral background. To me, this feels neutral. It's beige. I feel like that would go with pretty much any theme and any journal. So all I'm going to do is get cutting some tag shapes. Now, again, this is, you know, I'm probably not doing this in the most efficient way, but that's how I craft. You know, but by all means, if you have a more efficient way of doing this to make sure that you kind of use up every single scrap of your paper, then, you know, by all means do that. Because, I mean, you could divide this up. It's a 12 by 12. You could divide it up into 2 lots of 6 and get your kind of tags going that way. You know, personally, I mean, I'm just, yeah, not that organised or that, yeah, that kind of regimented with my making. I prefer to have a bit more kind of, you know, free flow going on. So I'm just going to kind of, yeah, just free flow. So again, just going to cut down. In fact, I'm going to cut it down this way first. And obviously this is A4, so, you know, I'm thinking can get like a couple of quite goodish tags from this. So like that. And again, you know, I'm really not being too precise with how I'm cutting these, but you can tidy them up once you've glued them down, I find. So, you know, we're just looking to get them kind of glued on and cut out from the backgrounds, really. So just going to kind of put them like this. This one, maybe I need to come in a bit. Yeah, maybe I've done it a bit too wide. So, you know, you can see that, I mean, obviously mine is not the most efficient method. You could probably do a much better job of this. You know, some people have die cuts, you know, dies to use their die cut machine. Of course, you could use your die cut machine, you know, just however you fancy making them, basically. So, you know, for me, this is just quite fun. I'm not saying it's the most efficient way by any means, but, you know, sometimes you've just got to go with what works for you, you know, and this method works for me. So there we go. And then from this one, I might make a couple of smaller tags. So we can just then cut those like that. Okay, and we can get one in there. And we can have one. Well, I might keep this one and we will use that in a moment. So let's just grab another sheet. So this one, so this was some 12 by 12 sheet and it's kind of an offcut. So just going to cut to get a nice big tag first. Cut my corners. You know, and again, I mean, of course, you could use that method, you know, where you take the corner across to the other corner. That's fine. And, you know, just use the method that you find works. You know, it really does not have to be my method at all, because, you know, my method's not particularly great. As you can see, I'm now struggling to fit these onto the page. But, you know, any method that works for you is fine. I wonder if that will fit there. No, not quite. Could cut it down, then it would fit. Okay, let's just do that. So now it's a bit short and stumpy, so I'm just going to cut the sides down. You know, and to be honest, I mean, if I actually took the time to measure and, you know, did them all the same size, you know, I'm going to probably save myself a bunch of time having to keep recutting my pieces. That said, for me, you know, the pleasure of cutting outweighs the pleasure of measuring, if you see what I mean. So I'd rather cut multiple times than measure, you know, once. So yeah, swings and roundabouts. But, you know, by all means, do what method works for you. Okay. Right, so that's my kind of sheet and it's covered now. you know, we've got plenty of tags going on here. So all I'm going to do is, of course, glue them all down. Oops, first time I've used my glue in a little while. So, oh, come on, just unclog the glue. And the other thing that you can do, you know, you could pile your paper up and cut multiple pieces of paper at the same time. So, you know, there's different ways of doing this to, you know, to make it faster. I mean, I don't think that this is particularly slow. I think it's perfectly kind of efficient. So, yeah, just kind of do the thing that works the best for you. So, first tag. And I'm just going to spread my glue. Oops. Got a very dirty wipe here. I did bring in a clean wipe just now, and already now I can't see it. No doubt it's buried now under those bits of paper, I think. So yeah, I'll grab that in a minute. Okay. And as usual, you know, in these mass makes, I'm not going to decorate these tags up. They are just purely going to be bases, ready to use at another time. So, you know, they're going to then be very versatile in how I can use them. If I decorate them, you know, they're going to be obviously, I feel, restrictive because they're going to only tie in with certain things. But if we're leaving them blank, then of course, you know, I have a bit more flexibility when I come to use them. So, okay. You know, but again, like I say, I mean, if you really want sort of a lot of flexibility, then often, you know, book page and sheet music, that's going to be your thing, because they're going to just go with everything. You know, these decorative papers, obviously, they're slightly more restrictive, aren't they? Because, you know, they're not going to go with everything that you do. But yeah, if you use the book page or the sheet music, you know, you're going to have loads of flexibility, because of course that's going to pretty much go with every single thing that you make. Okay, so get this one glued down. And again, you know, use the glue that suits you. If you find a glue stick suits you best, then, you know, that's great, use that. I mean, I just find this tacky glue the best, you know, from a sticking and a holding point of view and everything else. I'm aware that I use a lot. So, yeah, I often get, obviously, people commenting saying, oh, you've used way too much glue. I know. I'm just, yeah, I would rather use too much than not enough. And if you've watched my channel, you'll know that I have problems with getting the glue out of the tube. So I've switched over to using these Sugar Bell icing bottles, which are fantastic. I can now get the glue out. You know, it's pouring out, but that's the point. It's now pouring out. So, you know, I have limited, what's the word? Limited ability to actually change how fast the glue is flowing. So, yeah. But that's fine. Oh my gosh, look at that. I've just torn that tag completely. Again, I'm not really too worried, because when I come to glue some decorative pieces on, I can just cover that up. So it's fine. I'll still, you know, I'll still use that. I mean, in the past, obviously, you know, when I kind of first started out, I probably would have binned that, you know, thrown that in the bin, because I would have thought, oh, that's rubbish. I can't use that. Now I wouldn't, because I would think, oh, I'll just cover that up. You know, nobody's going to know. Okie dokie. Get these ones glued down. And yeah, I mean, obviously I wouldn't have torn that paper had I used less glue. So I am aware of that too. But like I say, I mean, I've got limited kind of ability to now control how much glue is coming out, because of course it's just pouring out with those Sugar Bell bottles. But, you know, it's fine. I'd rather have it really glued down than, you know, keep coming up and coming apart. Okay. Right. Okay. So this is my first sheet, completely full now, of tag bases. So to be honest, you know, you could even leave your sheet intact like this in its entirety. And then when you come to need a tag, you could cut it off of the sheet. If it's easier for you to store this as a flat 12 by 12. Now, I store all of my mass made items in, you know, my craft trolley thing, which you'll have probably seen if you followed my Tidy Fridays. So for me, I would cut these out. But that said, I do quite like the idea of actually leaving this on the 12 by 12 until I come to use them, because I think that would be quite an efficient way to actually store these. So, you know, again, it's up to you. The only thing that I would say about that is I would maybe be less likely to use them if they were still actually stuck onto the backing. That may be just me. But yeah, kind of for me, I feel like that would be, you know, maybe a sticking point. Okay, right. Let's bring in some more. So let's just do... Right, I'm going to cut this one down here. I'm going to try and make it sort of narrower this time. I went a bit wide on that last one. Okay, and just cut it all down to size. Now, obviously, I have tried to cut this borderless, and, you know, for some reason it's not cut borderless, which is pretty annoying. So I'm going to have to cut the borders off. But, you know, again, that's fine. It's not really a big deal. But, you know, you can see I've got lots of different shaped or size tags now going on, which is, again, quite nice because, you know, it's good to have a variety of tags. I mean, I love a big tag, but equally, you don't always have a pocket that's going to be able to take a big tag. So, you know, mix it up and get yourself a really good variety of sizes because, you know, that's going to be very helpful when you come to use them, I think. Which is another disadvantage to, obviously, if you're using a die to make your tags, they're all going to be the same size. Which, for a start, that's not going to be very fun when you come to use them because, you know, they're all going to be the same size. They might not fit in pockets. B, they're all going to be the same size when you look through your journal. That's not very interesting to look at. And C, they're not going to be very interesting to decorate because they're all the same size. So, you know, technically, you're going to be kind of limited somewhat to how you're going to be decorating them because you're going to have to do similar sort of size pieces on everything that you decorate, which, you know, that just seems a bit boring, doesn't it? I think. So, yeah, I just think, you know, there's loads of reasons why to have multiple size or multiple size tags. So what I might do now is cut all of my, you know, all of my top pieces that I'm going to use and then glue them all down. And then I might cut some out. Yeah, I might cut some out and then we will decorate one or two. So I will sort of stop talking through the process now and yeah, we'll just kind of relax, have a catch up. Got loads to talk about this week, so I'm going to bore you all silly now with the tales of my cruise that I've just come back from. So yeah, let's kind of just relax now, have a nice time. So first thing, I must apologise for my voice. If my voice sounds awful, which, you know, to me it definitely does. I don't know whether, you know, how bad it's sounding, but yeah, I've had a cold. Would you believe it came out on the Saturday when we went on the cruise? It came out that day and I've had it since then. So I'm filming this now on the Monday. I always film the mass making on the Monday when I can. So I've had this cold now for 9 days. And yeah, it's really annoying because, you know, quite often, I don't know about you guys, but I think, you know, a cold comes out, you have a couple of bad days and then it kind of pretty much, you know, just fades into the background, doesn't it? You know, no, not this one. I felt really rubbish, like, for most of the cruise, which was a bit of a shame. Don't get me wrong, you know, felt, you know, good enough to be able to still enjoy myself. So it was fine. I just dosed myself up with some of those cold and flu tablets. You know, it didn't stop me doing anything or anything like that. It was just really more every day I woke up and thought, oh, I hope my cold's gone today. And every day I woke up and thought, oh, I don't believe it. It's still here. So, yeah, it was just a bit of a shame, really. But, hey, it didn't spoil my time or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm not kind of fishing for any sympathy or anything like that. But, yeah, felt just groggy, when you just think, oh, are you kidding me? Why is this cold still here? But, so on to the actual cruise. Oh my goodness, I'd never been on a cruise before. I'm sure I said this in my, in my previous video. We booked it literally the week before we went, for anyone who didn't kind of hear what I was talking about before I went. So we literally had just booked it the week before, and it was my mum and dad, my older sister and her husband, my younger sister and her youngest son, who is 9 now, so he's just turned 9, myself and my daughter, who is 7, and my middle son, who is 15. So yeah, there was 9 of us all together. Oh my goodness, what an amazing time that we had. I mean, I felt very nervous because I'd never been on a cruise before. And if I'm truthful, I never really fancied going on a cruise. It wasn't really something that I kind of would have ever really done, if I wasn't kind of going with other people. Because I actually didn't really like the thought of it. I mean, I loved the concept of, that you rock up at all different places and you can get off the boat and sightsee and see all these different places. I mean, I loved that side of it. The concept of that. But the concept of being on a boat, I just thought, oh, I'm not sure what I think to that. I think I would find it, feel a bit trapped. And loads of people obviously had said to me, oh, don't be silly, you won't feel like that because the boats are massive, you won't be feeling that way. But you know what it's like? You just kind of imagine it, don't you? And you just think, I don't think I am going to feel okay. Anyway, it was amazing. Touch wood, I did feel fine. I didn't feel trapped or anything like that. Yes, the boats are truly enormous. And yeah, like amazing boats. So we went with, and please note that this is not any kind of endorsement or advertisement or anything like that. I'm not sponsored by the company or anything. We obviously paid, and everything else. And, of course, I haven't ever been on a cruise before. So, I don't have anything to compare it to. But we went with Royal Caribbean. We went with them. Well, predominantly we went with them because they had the most incredible offers. Because obviously they have not been, running, I guess, not been really operating kind of through the pandemic. Now that they are operating, I think they're still, well, actually, no, I was going to say I think they're still operating a limited service. But to be fair, I think they now are getting back to, normal service. But I guess this year they've been very restricted in where they could sail to. So I think what's gone on is they've kind of put on all these cruises to these, well, I think strange destinations, but I might be wrong. Maybe they always do these destinations. I don't know. So we went to Liverpool and we went to Belfast, which I have been to Liverpool before. I hadn't ever been to Belfast before. Never been anywhere in Ireland before. Yeah, I mean, they kind of, not really the most exotic places, I guess, to go on a cruise. So when I say strange destinations, to me, they felt strange because, it felt a bit of a strange kind of destination. But, I think they were perhaps putting those cruises on because of the pandemic, I don't know. But definitely, anyway, they were putting them on at such amazing prices. So, we got a really, really good deal for all of us to go. The price per person was very, very, very good. So that's the only reason that we kind of were opting to go on a cruise at all. I mean, otherwise I probably wouldn't still have, ever gone on one. So, anyway, I can't tell you, we had such a good time. So the boat that we went on, so it was with Royal Caribbean, and it was called Anthem of the Seas. Now, again, new to cruises, so, you know, I'm not trying to come across like I know everything. Please correct me if I'm wrong. You know, don't want to kind of like intrude on people who have been on lots of cruises and things. But they've got this fleet of ships, and they're all, you know, I think they've all got like different names. And so it's not like, you know, like an aeroplane where there's like a 747, and I assume that the airline has like a fleet of those 747s. I don't think the ships kind of are the same, in that I think they have like one of each boat, and I think I'm right in saying each boat is then completely unique to the next boat, I think. So, you know, I'm sure they must have similarities, they must have perhaps things that overlap, but predominantly they've designed an entire boat per, you know, per boat. I think I'm right in saying that. So yeah, we went on one called Anthem of the Seas. Oh, it was enormous. Weirdly enough, I did Google it because I thought, wow, how big is this compared to other boats, you know? And ironically, would you believe, there's miles bigger boats. That was, yeah, it wasn't even in the top 10 for kind of like big boats, if you see what I mean. I mean, I felt like it was huge, but yeah, it clearly wasn't that huge because, like I say, it wasn't even in the top 10. So I dread, you know, just, yeah, dread to think how big other ones are, because that felt pretty enormous. Anyway, so we went on that. Now it had a climbing wall, it had you know, like an indoor skydiving thing. What else did it have? Oh, just trying to think. Obviously it had lots of different restaurants. It had a full-blown theatre. I'm trying to think what else it had, really, but yeah, a full-blown theatre. Oh, what else? Oh, I don't know. I mean, too much stuff to list, to be honest. But yeah, tons and tons and tons of stuff. So to say that, you know, you could really do a lot of things and have a lot of experiences on there was like an understatement. I mean, oh, it had bumper cars on there. I think I might have said that in my last video, actually. So yeah, it had bumper cars on there. What else did it have? Bumper cars, by the way, I'm not sure whether they're called that elsewhere. We call them bumper cars. They might be called dodgems elsewhere. You know, they're those little funny toy cars that you get at a fairground, and then you kind of like bump into one another. So I can't see whether this is up the right way or the wrong way now. Oh well, hope for the best. Yeah, just all sorts of things. Absolutely incredible. Now I have to say the food was amazing, amazing. And like round the clock. Now we were full board. Excuse me. We were full board, and so the only thing really that wasn't kind of included was our drinks. That said, tea and coffee was included. Squash, that was included. I'm not sure about soft drinks, to be perfectly honest, because I just drink tap water anyway. And yeah, my daughter, she just had squash if she had a, you know, a different type of drink. So I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, whether like, well, no, actually, I don't think Coke and lemonade and things, I don't think that was included, because actually I saw some people having to purchase like a drinks plan to be able to get those types of drinks. But I mean, that's fine. We don't really drink, you know, that type of stuff anyway. Yeah, so the food, wow, coming out of your ears like all the time. I mean, breakfast, the buffet breakfast was amazing, amazing. You name it, they had it on the menu, you know, to choose from. Oh, what else did they have? What else did they have? Let's just have a think. They had a pizza restaurant. When I say restaurant, the pizza restaurant actually was more like a kind of bit of a fast foodie type place. But that was open, I think it was open from like 11 in the morning till 3 in the morning. So, I mean, obviously, you know, I go to bed by like 10 o'clock, even on our Even on our cruise, I still was doing that. But yeah, like if you wanted to be a late night reveller, you know, you could have gone down at like 3 in the morning. My son, he went in there a couple of times at like 11. You know, after I'd gone to bed, he kind of went down and got himself a pizza. So yeah, that was kind of incredible. They had like, you know, a hot dog place and like 3 or 4 different sit-down restaurants. These are all the restaurants that are free. They also had some pay restaurants. I mean, personally, you know, I can't think why you would want to go in a pay restaurant when you can go for free. You know, when you've got all these other places for free, why would you go and pay for a meal? I'm not sure, but you know, they have got these paying restaurants. We obviously didn't go in them. What else? Yeah, like I say, they have a climbing wall. I did have a go, would you believe? It's outside, it's on the top deck. Wow, it was pretty scary. I kind of was doing okay, and then I started thinking about what I was doing. And I don't know about you guys, but what a major mistake that is, to ever sort of actually think about what you're doing, because suddenly then that, for me, is when panic sort of sets in. I started then thinking, oh gosh, what if my foot slips? And oh, what if this, what if that? And yeah, I kind of then went into a bit of not a panic attack, definitely not, but it could have headed that way if I didn't kind of rein myself in. So yeah, I didn't really make it very high at all, kind of halfway, which was, you know, pretty abysmal. I think even my 7-year-old daughter went higher than I did. So yeah, it was pathetic really. But hey, I felt proud of myself because I had at least given it a bit of a try. You know, I'm trying to push myself outside of my comfort zone. So yeah, you know, at least I gave it a go. My son, he got right to the top, so that was really good. Oh, the other thing is on that climbing wall, oh my gosh, really takes a lot of physical strength. I mean, I had not realised quite the amount of physical strength that you need to be kind of like pulling yourself from one, you know, of those foot sticky out things to the next, you know, because you're kind of really pulling yourself with your arms. You know, you have to straighten your body out and really pull yourself to the next foothold, because, you know, they're kind of a distance away. They're not just sat next to each other. You know, you're stretching yourself quite far across. So, of course, you're having to sort of pull yourself, and yeah, really required a lot of strength, which, you know, I don't seem to have very much upper body strength. So I wasn't great at it. But the main problem, you know, that being said, was more my mental kind of, oh my gosh, what would happen if my foot slipped? And yeah, went into kind of just like, you know, stupidity, and kind of, yeah, I couldn't really do it. But anyway, it was okay. Didn't go on the indoor skydive bit. Again, they give you a couple of complimentary turns at that. But unfortunately, you do have to book, which was, you know, kind of tricky, because trying to get a booking was actually very difficult because it's only on certain days and things like that. So my son and my daughter and, you know, my nephew, so my sister's boy, who is 9, they all went on it. But yeah, none of us adults went on it. We watched the show of We Will Rock You, you know, which was the actual London show, you know, adapted obviously for the boat. But yeah, so that was fun. You know, and these things were all free. So, you know, that's incredible, isn't it? Really, really, really great. And talk about a hassle-free holiday. You know, because you just literally, we got out of the car, you know, when we got to the docks, we kind of were parking up, got out of the car. You literally just drop your bags off at the docks. They take your bags, and that's it. Your holiday has kind of started. I mean, I had to go with the children and get the children tested again for COVID, because, of course, they haven't been jabbed. So we had to have like a few tests before we went, and then they had to have more tests on the actual day that we were going. So we had to go and kind of get their tests sorted out. And then after that, you just get on the boat. And your holiday has started instantly. You know, they've taken your bags. and your bags then just land up outside of your room, your cabin. So yeah, it was amazing. Very, very, very efficient, and you know, very organised, and yeah, really very slick sort of operation that they have running there. Massive apologies to everybody, because I had kind of underestimated, obviously, going on holiday with other people, because I had paid for the internet usage, which I know I talked about before, so that I could keep in touch with you guys. It was good because I was able to schedule my videos, which I hadn't had time to do prior to going. So, I mean, it was definitely an essential thing, you know, and lucky that I had it. That said, I obviously underestimated what it was going to be like really going away with other people, because, you know, of course, there wasn't really the time that I thought there was going to be for catching up with emails and stuff like that. I thought I was going to be, you know, just catching up on all those things that I hadn't really had time to do previously. But actually, it kind of was the opposite, really, because, you know, it was kind of like, oh, let's meet down for breakfast, or let's go here, or let's go and sit there, and let's meet for dinner. Oh, we're just going to go back to the rooms for a bit. You know, so there wasn't really any kind of opportunity for, you know, like, yeah, downtime, really, I suppose. I mean, you know, I could have been a bit more unsociable, I suppose, but, you know, I mean, you don't want to, really. And I guess it would look a bit rude, but yeah. So, you know, I do apologise, but it's on my radar. I will be trying to catch up. But obviously now I've come back to like loads of things to do. And I'm not complaining because, wow, you know, so lucky to have been on holiday. You know, so yeah, please don't think I'm complaining in any way, shape or form. But as I'm always saying, you know, please just bear with me. I know I'm terribly slow and rubbish, but I will get back to you eventually. So yeah, I can only apologise, you know, now that I haven't kind of got round to catching up as fully as I'd hoped, or even at all as I'd hoped. But yeah, it's still on my radar, and definitely I will be aiming to catch up during this week. So yeah, if you've emailed me at all, I really do hope to get back to you soon. I mean, obviously today now I need to catch up and do a bunch of videos, because of course I used, you know, I've used like 7 videos, you know, while we were away, used then a couple over the weekend and things. So I mean, again, I need to just get some more put back in the bank. But yeah, as soon as I get a moment, I will be on my laptop, you know, and yeah, catching up with things. So I do apologise, and thank you so much for everybody's patience. If you do ever email me, you know, please be assured, you know, I will come back to you. It may just take a little while, so I can only apologise for that. You know, maybe eventually I will get a more efficient system going, I'm not sure. But yeah, at the moment, it's kind of the best that I can do, I'm afraid. So I hope that everybody else has had an awesome week as well. You know, let me know. Have you been on a cruise? What did you think to a cruise? I know that a few people on my previous video had commented saying they'd been on a cruise, and they loved them. So yeah, I mean, I can see now why people go on one after the other. Because I mean, I know a few people who literally cruising is now kind of like their only holiday they do. I can see why, to be honest, because, you know, it's so hassle-free, and, you know, just from that point of view alone, it's just brilliant. I love the concept of going to different places every day. You know, I mean, like I say, we went to Liverpool and Belfast, so maybe not the places that, you know, would be on my dream cruise, but, you know, if you were going kind of to a lovely luxury destination, I mean, what an awesome experience to be able to then get off the ship and, you know, see all those lovely places, only to then get back on, you know, have a luxury dinner, and then, you know, sail off to somewhere else for the next day. I mean, that's amazing. So yeah, I'm fully a cruise convert now. A cruise convert. We were very lucky we didn't really have any rough seas or anything, because, you know, it was a bit dodgy, obviously going in October and just kind of in the, you know, in the British Isles, really. It could have been worse, but no, we were very, very lucky. So, yeah, in fact, we were lucky with the weather, full stop. The first couple of days that we were on the cruise, we actually had kind of unbroken sunshine, and we were sat out at the outdoor pool with my daughter and her cousin in the pool, playing in the pool, you know, just in the pool the whole day. Weirdly enough, actually, there was like a sort of Caribbean type band playing on the deck, playing like reggae music. Oh, I felt like I was in the Caribbean. I mean, I wasn't in my bikini or anything like that, but I possibly could have been, you know, had it been, I could have been, but I wasn't. I was in my dress, you know, but yeah, I mean, it was properly warm. It was really lovely. And obviously just sat looking up. It was lovely blue skies and listening to this, you know, reggae music. It was like I was on holiday in the Caribbean, honestly. That was where I did a lot of fussy cutting, was whilst I was sat, you know, on my lounger. So sat like with the family talking and chatting, but I was able to obviously do quite a bit of fussy cutting as well, which was, you know, really nice. Like I say, I mean, we actually spent very little time in our cabins because, yeah, I guess, you know, the bulk of the time was obviously being with each other, you know, around the ship. So, yeah. Okay. Right. Okie dokie. Oh, come back to grey skies here. But, I mean, we were very lucky that they weren't grey skies last week. You know, we were very lucky. But, yeah, come back to grey skies now. When we got off the ship in Belfast, I mean, obviously you only get the day and, you know, it's probably not that much time by the time that you factor in getting to wherever it is you're going and all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, we didn't really know kind of what there would be to do in Belfast other than the Titanic Museum, because the Titanic was actually built in Belfast. So we did go to the Titanic Museum. That was an interesting day out. It was quite good. I mean, I say day out. Obviously in the museum we were there for about an hour and a half probably, but yeah, it was quite interesting. And in the gift shop, they had a big variety of stuff, and, you know, wonderfully, they had some, you know, some really good value things. You know, like sometimes you go in a gift shop in these places and everything's extortionate. But yeah, luckily they had a few quite good value things. Yeah, I mean, nothing particularly great to buy for the children because, sorry, I forgot to say, the kids weren't allowed off the boat. I don't know whether I did say that or not, but they weren't allowed off the boat because they obviously haven't been vaccinated. So my son stayed on the boat, and my daughter and her cousin, they went into the kids club for the day so that us adults could all go to the Titanic Museum. My son, I did keep saying, are you sure that, you know, you don't mind, I can stay back on the boat? Oh, he couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to have a day without me. So, yeah, he spent the day, I think, just chilling out by the pool, you know, listening to music and what have you without me probably going on at him. So, yeah, he had a lovely time. Right. So, I've got my 3 sheets of, you know, my tags. So, you know, I think that's okay. Now, I'm going to cut out this one first, I think, because this was that one that I tore. So I'm going to cut this one out to decorate, just so that we can kind of like have a look at sort of disguising where I've torn it, if you see what I mean. And I mean, obviously as well, this is another one of those like TV projects, you know, because I could take these sheets now down and sit in front of the TV and just cut out all of my tags. So I might do that tonight. In fact, if I get time, well, I probably won't, but I was going to say, if I do get time, I'm going to do some more with the other sheets of paper that I bought in. But, I mean, did you see the amount of paper I bought in? As if I'm going to be doing that. It's very doubtful, isn't it? Yeah. But, yeah, that would be quite a fun thing, I think, to do this evening, is to just sit and cut out my tags. Right, so we've got this, and I'm going to grab in some book page. Okie dokie. Just put some bit page down the edge. So straight away, I'm covering up that torn bit on the edge of that tag. Okay. Like that. Okie dokie. Spread that out. Okay. And of course next week is half term for the schools. So yeah, no sooner are we back than, you know, they're going to have another week off again next week. So honestly, it's like one big holiday. Just trim that down there. Okay, right, let's get rid of those. Now, what shall I put on here? Just having a look to see if I've got any nice bits that I could use. You know, just floating around anywhere. Ooh, I've got this. That's quite nice, isn't it? Let's just tear this out. This is some proper, you know, vintage brick page, obviously with these gorgeous images. So, yeah, let's just see how this would look. Oh, how gorgeous does that look on there? Love how that looks. Right, let's just ink around that. Yeah, I've really missed doing my videos, I have to say. You know, I couldn't wait to do a video. I did do a video at the weekend. In fact, I did, well, I tried to do two, but yeah, I had to stop one of them because, you know, kind of got interrupted by life, you know. But yeah, couldn't wait to actually do my video today. So hopefully I'm going to do, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 today. 4 if I can manage it. That might be a tall order. Because, you know, you really miss doing them, to be honest. You know, when you aren't here, then it's like, oh, you know, really miss doing them. Right, just going to have a look and see. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously that's not a perfect match, you know, that bow. But having said that, I feel like there's something quite nice about it not being quite right. I mean, this is probably more, you know, more tony, more toning in with the paper. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's quite nice to have a contrast, isn't it? You know, this might look too toned and too blending in that it would just kind of sink into the back. Oh, maybe that is better. Yeah, maybe it is. Right, now I've got some little, what do you call these? What am I trying to say? Oh, hand stitch ruffles, that's the word. They're just on there from something else I've been doing. So I'm just kind of thinking I could pull one of those in. Again, not really sure, as it's quite right, but let's just glue this one down. Okay. Oops. Like that. Yeah, so back to the healthy eating now. Gosh, I've just been such a greedy person because it was like a 3-course meal every night. So, you know, of course, why wouldn't you? Yeah, so I feel like, ugh, horrible and bloated. Have to be super good now this week. Super healthy, you know. Said to the kids, you know, oh, we're going to be healthy eating all week. I mean, obviously that was just, went down like a lead balloon, obviously, as you can imagine. Especially with my daughter. Oh, what? Yep, healthy eating. So, yeah, I don't know. Don't know like what, but maybe I would do a soup or something. Although the weather, although is not as nice as it was while we were on the boat, it doesn't really feel quite like soup weather yet. It's, it's still quite muggy by the end of the day, strangely. So yeah, I'm not quite sure whether it's, you know, whether we're quite ready for soup yet. I mean, I always love soup, to be honest, anytime. The boys always did, but yeah, as they've got older, even they're more fussy now and kind of like it less. Oh, I don't know. Thought that postage stamp would look good on there, but actually I'm not so sure that it does. Just having a look, because I've got my envelope of fussy cut pieces that I was cutting on the boat. So yeah, I've got quite a lot of labels in here. So let's just see if I've got some greenish ones that would go on here. Oh, how about that? That's quite nice, isn't it? It's a bit big, got to be said. Oh, this is where I find I've cut out tons of things, but still nothing quite ideal. Oh. Can you believe that, you know, sometimes you can have all these things and still never quite the right thing? How is that? How is that even possible? Quite like that, actually. So let's put this one down. Yeah, I've had my smoothie already this morning. So, yep, hopefully I'm heading on the right track for my healthy eating. Okay. And it was great because I did an Aldi click and collect like on Friday. So we then picked it up on Saturday. I wished actually I'd been more organised, because I would have then done it on the boat, you know, on the Thursday. I could have then collected it on the Friday, which would have been amazing, wouldn't it? But yeah, I wasn't that organised, and just didn't even occur to me, to be fair, until we kind of got off the boat, and then I thought, oh, why didn't I think to do that? But, you know, yeah, that would have been awesome. So I will try and remember to do that, you know, if we do go away anywhere again. I'm going to try and remember, because that would just be so amazing to be able to come back and your shopping is literally ready to collect within a couple of hours. Would be awesome. Right, I'm having a look to see if I've got any lace, you know, that would be suitable for this. Hold on. Oh, just leave it off to the side to grab this. Let me just cut this piece down. Okay. Yeah, I mean, weirdly enough, I quite like that lace underneath that bow. I know that's almost a bit strange, but something quite nice about it as well. So let's just go for that. Oops, now dropped my hot glue gun onto the floor. So let me pick that up. Okay. I mean, to be honest, there's not much of that lace now that's really showing, so that's a bit of a shame. But you can see enough, you know, it's visible enough, I think. So yeah, it's okay. We could even maybe have this on here, but it might be, yeah, it might just be like one label too many. Who knows? Well, that is a lot of labels on there, but weirdly, I quite like it. So I'm going to go for that. Okay, let's put that down there. Okie dokie. So yeah, I think that's probably good enough for that tag. So like I say, I'm actually going to keep the others for, you know, cutting, I think, this evening when I'm watching TV, because, yeah, quite fancy doing that. I thought that would be like something fun to do tonight. So, yeah, I hope that you, you know, managed to make some bases and get some, you know, some tags on the way. Like I say, I think not a bad idea if you're kind of like, you know, prefer to keep your papers flat. I think not a bad idea to actually glue them down and just store them on the 12x12s. For me, I don't think I would bother using them like that. But, you know, if you think that you would, then that might be quite a nice way to store them. So, yeah, hope that you like them. Hope you have fun if you decide to make some. And thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you all have a fantastic week. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.